Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to start installing the wooden ceiling in the tiny house. First thing I got to do is pull all of those slats out of there and get them stacked up over here somewhere and put them on horses. And while I'm doing that, I have to sort each and every one of them. I'm going to sort them into A and B piles, and the two very best pieces out of the whole thing I'm going to use on the two ends. So let's get all that stuff over here and then we can start cutting it. Okay, I got these sorted, A, B, and C. A are the most perfect ones out of the bunch. I want to get one of these on each side and distribute the rest every 4 or 5 boards or so. The B need a little more work. They're not quite as perfect. And the C are terrible, but I need them. So we want to get these as evenly spaced in the ceiling as possible, and hopefully they'll yank into place. If they don't yank into place, I'll have to tear them out and get new ones, but I believe I should be able to use those. So the first thing I need to do is cut these to length. I'm going to go through these perfect boards and find ones like this that have a bad edge. I need to cut one of these for the first board. I have everything figured out on paper, and they need to be cut down to, right about here or so. And then we need to sand these a little bit. I'm thinking I might be able to set up the horses outside. It is winter out, but it's maybe 40 degrees out there, and there's no wind out back here. So any sanding that I can do outside is going to be preferable to sanding in here. Yeah, these absolutely require sanding. They're pretty rough. Okay, let's find that edge board. I think this is going to be it. And then we'll get it cut to length and then sand it up real quick. And we'll go test it to see if it fits over at the tiny house. If it does, we'll keep going and cut the rest of them. All right, it's day 2, and I have 10 boards cut, and I got putty on all of them. Just the minor stuff right around knots and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. Should I sand these and stack them and then bring them over? That's my thought. I also need to bring over the compressor hose, a gun, some fiberglass insulation. I need to clear out in there. I have all of that drywall stuff right in the middle of the room. I just have a ton of setup stuff to do before I can start actually putting the ceiling in. Okay, well, it's really nice out. It's foggy, but it's probably 40 degrees out there, and I believe it's February 1st today. Really nice winter. Let's set up the horses outside the shop door there and get these sanded right away, and then we'll move all of that stuff over there, and I'll meet you over there, but we'll get this sanded first. All right, I got 10 boards cut to length and sanded. Just got to get them over there. I already brought over the hose and the gun. Now I'm going to bring this beast over there. This thing is quite heavy. Cast iron and stuff. So we'll get this over there, and then I'll show you what it looks like over there. And then we'll get the rest of it over there. It's actually a little bit less than 40 degrees because the heater is set at 40, and that came on while I was sanding. It's just a mushy, muddy mess out here. All right. I just turned on the heater when I came over here before. And this is what we have. I'm gonna need some of this stuff for the little bit of touch-up that I gotta do around the door. So I gotta move all of this into the other room and get my stuff staged in here. The boards, I'm gonna have to lay them from the corner and go into that opening there. They're only a ½ inch smaller than this room, so they're going to be difficult to maneuver in here. Okay, let's get this cleaned up. All right, it's time to deal with these. We have nail heads right here for 8 feet, and we have them for 4 feet on this side. Those either need to be pounded in flush or cut off with a grinder. Natalie has all of her books and stuff up there, and I think I'll just make a mess if I start banging away at these. So I'll cut these off, and then I gotta go make the blocking. I keep forgetting about the blocking. The blocking goes here and from here to here. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be there. And then I'll take a straight edge across from here to here and then over to the blocking and use that to get the blocking in the correct place. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be doing all this stuff most of today and won't really get into starting on the ceiling till tomorrow, but we'll see. Let's go get the blocking cut and get the grinder for this stuff. All right, here's the stuff I just went to get. I needed a different kind of screws, different kind of bit, this little patch for a hole in the ceiling, my little shelf for the electronics, and there's the grinder, and I picked up the countersink to countersink this stuff so it doesn't split. A lot of stuff. Okay. First thing to do is get that shelf in place so I can get that electronic stuff out of the way, and then I'll patch that hole. Got to set up the compressor for that. Oh, I brought a brad nailer and brads for that and glue. Yikes. Okay, let's get going. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I have these dead men here, and I have a third one right there for some of these longer spots. And these cleats are just cut to the rough size of an opening. I got like an 8-inch one here, a 9-inch one there, and a longer one right there, real long ones over there. So I'm just gonna move this. Like for this one right here, I'll put 2 of these in, but on this longer one here, I'll use 3 of them. And what I'm doing is, because it's screwed to 2 of these ceiling joists, it's gonna give me a nice continuous plane over to the end right here. And in the end, we're just gonna fire a nail up at an angle up into here, and that'll be covered with trim. Okay, let me get these done, and with any luck, we'll start to get the ceiling in today. I have another full day on this video, and we should be able to get at least half of this done before this video ends. We'll see. All right, got all the cleating in. I haven't done anything with these yet, but what I think I'm gonna do is go get 2 or 3 of the ceiling boards and start putting the ceiling in. Then I'll run back there again and get the insulation and get it stuffed. That'll probably get me right near the end of the day, but if it doesn't, I'll just keep going. You see, 3 boards will probably get me right in here somewhere, and then I'll have to backfill this and grind those down. Don't know if I'll have enough time to get that done today, but let's go get them boards and start getting this ceiling in. The Amazon guy tried to turn around at the dry lot there and got himself stuck. What a dummy. Yeah, he's not going to get out that way. Holy moly. Okay, probably have to go help him soon. We got the first 2 in here. I had to have Natalie out here to help me snap some chalk lines. I got one at 2 feet, 4 feet, and 6 feet. That way I can measure from the tongue over to the chalk line and make sure that I'm going straight. And she helped me get this first one in. That had to be face nailed, and then the rest of these are nailed into the bevel. You'll still be able to see that. You can't really nail into the tongue because it'll leave part of the nail on the other side, and you won't be able to get the next one on, and they'll split the tongue. So I got those 2 in, and I got it stuffed with insulation. I think, well, let me get 1 more in here and we'll see where we're at. All right, see if we can show you this semi-clearly. These things are only a 1/2 inch longer than the room, or a 1/2 inch shorter than the room. So it can be difficult to get them up there. And once it's going to hold in place, grab one of these and put it tight up against it. Then you can just tap the clamp, and the clamp will move and stay where you tapped it. I got 2 clamps to do that with. This is one of the really squirrely boards. Okay. Check the end. That should be good enough. Let's see what it looks like on this side. To tap it down a little bit. Went and got a piece of scrap ply and the pry bar. You got to go like that. Tap it a little bit. Now it's even and we can nail it in. This was one of the squirrely ones. Some of them are really bad, but for the most part, they go in pretty good. Push it up. I don't necessarily have to put 2 bullets into each one, but yeah, this is, especially on this one. When I put the wood ceiling in the house, we had 9-foot ceilings instead of these 7-foot ones. Good deal harder. Okay, I got this stuff pre-filled. My next piece is gonna go, I believe it's gonna go right before where them nails were. I'll fill these 2 down here after I get it in. And I believe that's all I'm gonna be able to do today. I'll continue the video tomorrow. It's all gonna be in this video, but I think that's gonna be it for today. I gotta run to town and get some sandpaper to sand up the rest of these, and with any luck we'll be able to get either done or most of the way done tomorrow. This stuff right here, this is from Amazon turning around on other days. See what they did. Look at all the deer prints. These are all fresh. There's been a bunch of them up further on the road. Well, have a little bit of filling in to do. This is all gravel, so not that big of a deal. Yeah, he sure got himself stuck. All right, I gotta go get that sandpaper. All right, it's the next day and I'm about to start again, and we have 4 and 17/30 seconds, and if you go down the line, it's exactly the same all the way down, which is beautiful. So, just thought I'd show you real quick. A piece of cutoff gets me past this area. Normally I would have the clamp right here, but because this is there, piece of cutoff will do the work. And this one is like normal. I believe I have a few nails left to do in this. I came back here last night kind of late and got this piece in. So now I got to finish putting the nails in this and stuff it with fiberglass. And my light, where is, oh, here it is. The light is right here. So we have 2 more pieces before I can put the light in. So once I get done with this stuff, I'm gonna put in those 2 pieces, and then I'll show you the drilling of the big old light hole. That's kind of dangerous. Then we're gonna get that stuffed, and I told Natalie we would do 4 pieces, and then she would stuff them with insulation, and then I would go over and sand while she's doing that. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do 4 before we get to the light. And we have the opening for the library. That is going to take a while as well. Yeah, I can't really flush trim that or anything. I need to stop the boards about 1/4 inch from the opening all the way around, and I'm going to trim that whole opening out in the end. So yeah, this is going to be a bit more involved than I was thinking this morning, but let me get this one nailed in and get those next 2 in, and we'll get the holes cut for the lights and just go from there. Thought I'd show you this real quick. This is one of the twisty boards, one that was in the C pile. I just used these cleats, the same ones that I used to get those in. I use them to hold this up. Then I can adjust it. It's not just going to go right into the slot like the other ones did. I'll have to get a little bit in, put a clamp on. I may even have to get more clamps. And I'll have to get the whole thing onto the tongue before I can do anything else. And on the far end, that's going to mean twisting it and then pounding it onto the tongue. Yeah, sometimes these twisty boards like this even have to be nailed on the surface to hold them flat, but that's okay. It's just getting painted. Okay, let's try to tap this one in. I'll show you this one after I get it in. And then I'm going to put 2 more in and drill the light holes, and I'll show you how I do that. This is the location for the light holes. Well, I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, quick update on that twisty board. I got it in and it looked really nice all the way up until the very end over there, and it had a pretty good kink in it. So I just took the whole thing out. I'll use it as one of the boards that has the end cut off over here for that opening, and I put the next board in. And while I was at it, I started laying out this light. I want the hole for the light. This is a 6-inch hole, so it's actually bigger than the reveal on the boards here. So I want to center that on a board. So this is where I had it set up for the light. So I believe I'm going to go 2 inches towards the wall. The whole reason for this location for the lights is that it's centered on the opening there. So when I get to these, I'm going to have to move it either way until it's centered on a board, unless it's right on when it gets there, but I doubt that. So I've been going back and forth. Do I want them in the room more, or do I want them off to the edge? And I would kind of like them in the room more, but if I go where they want to go, that would be right here, and I'm thinking I'm going to have interference. I don't know. Maybe not. Let's take a look at the lights real quick, and we'll make our decision, because they go up a bit and then they have a box that has to go up in there. We got plenty of room over here, but we got all this stuff in the way over there. And that's going to be true. I don't know if that'll be true on all of them or not. Yeah, it's going to be true on this one as well. So let me take a look at those lights real quick. We'll make our decision, and I'll get these two boards in. All right, these things look gigantic. So they're going to go right about there. And I would have the clearance over here, because they're going to go like that. Oops. They would be 3/4 of an inch down. So I do have the clearance. Yeah, maybe I will move them into the room. Okay, that's what I'll do. All right, I had Natalie come out here and stuff this with insulation and leave the area where the lights are going open. Now, like I said, that bit, where is that? Right there. Massive bit is going to cut right through this entire board in 2 places. So I got to get the next board in place. So let me do that, and then we'll cut the hole. These things are so dangerous. I've seen people get hurt with these things before. So I'm going to have to go really, really slow with this. But even at that, when it first hits the wood, it's going to yank around and could be a nightmare. But let's get this board in there and we'll find out. All right, I'm having issues with this camera. Hopefully it holds out. I got my pilot holes drilled. I got my next board in place. And I put this clamp here. And I'm thinking of standing on the other side of this clamp just in case this monstrous bit comes flying off. It's happened to me before, and I've seen it on several YouTube videos where they got hit in the face with these things. It tends to unchuck itself, so I'll keep testing the chuck as well. Yeah, this is not my favorite cut, but all right, here we go. All right, that went better than I thought. Unfortunately, these lights have the screws outside of the 6-inch hole. That is just so dumb. So it doesn't fit. I'm going to have to make little notches for where these screws go. Why the hell they did that, I don't know. Look at that. They protrude right into the 6-inch area. What are you supposed to do? Get a 6 1/4 inch drill? Not a chance. So I gotta cut 6 little notches in here. I think I'll use my jigsaw to do that. What a pain in the butt. All right, one more to do, and then I'm gonna put 2 boards in here, and Natalie's gonna come in and throw some insulation in. I don't know how much more I'm gonna be able to get done today. Let me see, 2 boards will be right before this. I'll probably stop whatever board gets me the closest to this, but I don't have to cut for that. All right, then we could pull the wires into here before we do the next one and get rid of all my safety stuff. We'll see. That bit may pop off the drill on the next one. I'm going to do that same thing on the next one. All right, and I got to get my Romex staples on that. All right, I'll get back with you in just a bit. All right, that was kind of a workout, but we got both holes drilled. And now I measured this, and it looks like I can get 4 boards right up to here, which would make this pretty damn close to dead center. That would be great. I think I'm going to put these in. Oh, let me show you this real quick. We are at 9 1/16 all the way down. So we're still running perfect. Okay. So what I'm going to do is put 2 more boards in, and then Natalie can stuff this with insulation, and with any luck I'll be able to get 2 more in. I may have to take this out and move it over to the side to get that last board in. I don't know. We'll see. That would be kind of nice. I have a trip that I have to go on tomorrow, so it'd be nice to be almost halfway before I go. Okay, that's going to wrap it up. Yeah, that looks really nice. Once we get all these nail holes filled and get the ceiling painted, it's going to look awesome. I was telling Natalie, the Craftsman molding that goes around the door, I measured it and it'll come right up to the ceiling there. So I'm thinking I'm going to do something special with that. Have the very top molding of that go around the room instead of having a quarter round here. I don't know, we'll have to see on that. I figured out how I'm going to do this smoke detector box as well. Yeah, the next video is going to start out with the smoke detector box in the first piece. Then, after a couple more, they're either going to be notched or they're going to be shorter pieces. Yeah, and we don't get back to normal pieces until way over here. So the next one's probably going to take 3 days as well. Okay, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.